Well, hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. So today's project, we'll be working on the head resurfacer. So stick around. So I've been working on some LS heads and we're at the part where we got to resurface them. So I thought I'd grab this camera and do a walk around the machine and show you some of the steps and the process about one of the very common ways that we resurface cylinder heads in an automotive machine shop. So this here is my block and head resurfacer. This is what we call a high-speed surfacer. This is a Storm Vulcan Schlatum RT17Y. Pretty decent machine. It's on the smaller side of head resurfacers, but it definitely does the trick. Do a little walk around here. These are the old style segmented stones you may have heard about, where we would do a wet grind on cylinder heads. We don't really do that too often anymore. Nowadays we use a CVN or a PCD insert. At this point, this is a CVN insert that's in the machine. That's what I use the most. This would be a PCD insert, which on certain aluminums can do a better finish. I tend to just use the CVN. It just does a really nice finish. I don't have any issues with just the CVN personally. So this is a old common way of mounting a cylinder head to the machine, and this machine we can tilt the head and there's a cam in here and we can change the plane of the head to get it all leveled out and dialed in. So when I set a head up, I start with a level and I put a level here and I level it out nice and close, and then I put in an indicator here and I make sure that it's as true as I can possibly get it. So now that I showed it off a bit, let me show you how this thing works. So these are pretty basic, as most automotive machining machines are. They typically only do one job, and so they design them around that one job, and it really simplifies them. So this here would turn our spindle on. This here would be our spindle speeds. I typically always run at number 2 here. This is our main power. This is our hydraulic pump for the table to move back and forth. And this would turn the coolant on, which with CVN inserts, we have no need for that. So, power on. This pump is a bit noisy. I'm hoping you guys can hear me over it, but we'll turn the pump on. And now that table is ready to move back and forth. We have a dial right here. This is a variable adjustable speed of movement on this machine. And the more you turn this dial, the faster that the bed will move. And so we can get a really nice fine adjust on these machines just by turning it a little. And then we have a directions change there. And that's full travel. So let's show how this works. So I got this tool and I got it mounted to the fly cutter here on the opposite end that the cutting tool is. This is, not only does this balance my fly cutter out, but it also gives me a spot to mount my dial indicator. So I'm hoping we can see it in the video, but we got that set at 0. contacting the head there. And we'll just let this sweep across. So we got that dialed in nice. And we come to the middle of the head. You can see we got about a 2 thou warp in the cylinder head. And then we can just run this from one edge to the other to make sure that we got this head all planed out nice. So this one's set pretty good. Next up, we remove this tool. Bring the cutter around. This handle lowers and raises the head. So we turn it this way, this lowers it. And we bring it nice and close. And we can swing it by hand, make sure we're not touching there. And I like to set this dial up. There's numbers on the hand wheel, but I find this just more accurate. This is a machine you definitely want to wear eye protection on, because this just spits chips everywhere. So now we kind of roughly got it set up. We're right near the edge. I know it's not contacting the piece. I can come here and turn the spindle on. And with the spindle on, I'll just lower the head really slowly with the hand wheel. And I just scratch the edge of the head there. So we just took a nice light little scratch right there. I'll set my dial to 0 so I know where we're at. And I find for this machine that somewhere between 4.5 to 5.5 is a good speed for roughing. So we'll just go to the 5 for now. And we're going to make a slice here. And these heads weren't that bad. You can see a little bit of shadow in there still. But for the most part, they were fairly flat. A little more shading on this corner here. This would have been the lowest spot on the head. And other than that, not bad. So I think one more pass. We'll lower the head one more thou. Right there. Crank this over. Go. turn this right to here. We'll speed it over to the other end, and I'll explain why in a second. So, we pretty much got a full clean. We got a little bit of pitting right here where there's a coolant passage in the block. You'd have to cut quite a bit to get that off, and it doesn't hurt anything, so don't worry about that. Other than that, that's good like that. But it's a little rough. I wasn't doing a finish pass there. So even though that could potentially seal, we don't want potentially, we want it to seal. And so for that, I have a little trick here. Sometimes aluminum chips will stick to the surface, and WD-40, which is in here, that helps prevent that. I'll go back to the hand wheel and we'll bump. Oh, it's a little touchy. Just under another thou there. I like to go between a half thou and 1 thou depth of cut for a finish pass. And then spindle on. Table on. So the reason why I went to this end is I find the machine when it's traveling this way, I get a better finish. Maybe the hydraulic ram is just in better condition going this direction or something. I don't know. I just get a consistent finish when I go in that direction versus when I go in that direction on a fine feed. Oh, we'll run this. And I find 4 3/4 right there. Gives me a beautiful finish. I don't know if you noticed or not, but it's moving slower than those last 2 cuts, which were what we call roughing cuts. And it won't actually touch anything until we get to this half of the fly cutter here. All resurfacers have a slight little tip. I've measured this one to be almost 2 thou of a tip, so it'll only cut on one side. That way you won't back cut on your cylinder head, which will actually mess up your finish. There we go. And that's all there is to it. Super shiny, it's absolutely flat. Very smooth. Oh, it's oh so smooth. As you can see, it happens pretty quick. I know you missed the part where I set the head up. Sometimes that's tedious, especially when it's on camera. I've already done my valve job. The guides were in good shape, so we didn't have to do any work to the guides. Just a little 3-angle valve job, ground the valves, polish the stems, and a resurface. That's all the machine work for this. So that's pretty much all there is to it, to resurfacing a cylinder head. This head was just a minimum skim. That's all that was required and wanted, and that's what we got. Next up, I'm going to take a file and I'm going to go around all the edges, inside and out, and break all sharp edges so that not only do we not get any boo-boos from handling these heads, but we don't want any debris breaking off in the engine down the road either. That's just not where we want our debris. And that'll be it. I'll throw these in the spray wash machine. We'll get them nice and clean, and then I can put them together. And alright guys, that's it for this quick video. I'm going to carry on, get the other one up here and resurfaced. And thanks for tuning in again to watch. I hope you guys found this a little bit interesting. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.